Hey everybody! I know I'm going live 2 times in one day. What is going on? I wanted to make a recipe in my quick cooker tonight because it's raining and I'm feeling kind of lazy because I've been cleaning out closets all day. And I thought since it's kind of a fun recipe and uses a lot of tools, I would show you how I did it. I'm trying to go live more often. I know that it might not be perfect in my kitchen, and no, I'm not wearing makeup, my hair is not done, and yeah, I'm totally in my pajamas. But this is cooking for real. So I wanted to show you how I did it. So tonight we are making a quick cooker chicken tortilla soup. And I'm kind of tweaking the recipe a little bit because recipes are guidelines, especially when you're cooking a savory recipe. You don't always have to follow along exactly the way that it is. So the recipe calls for just regular green bell pepper. I had some red bell pepper that is in desperate need of using up. And then I also have poblanos, which are so amazing to cook with. If you like green bell pepper, then you need to try a poblano, especially in like your Tex-Mex dishes. They just add a little bit of a smoky, little tiny hint of spice. They're so good, like in fajitas or burritos. I like them in tacos, and I especially like them in this soup. If you're not familiar with a poblano, it's what they make chili rellenos out of. Anyway, so tonight we're gonna cut up those peppers. We're gonna spiralize some zucchini. We're gonna throw some black beans in the quick cooker, and we're going to have dinner. So let's get started. The first thing I'm gonna do is set my quick cooker to sear because I'm gonna saute some vegetables in there before we get started on our soup. And then I need to clean my onion. And I had a half of an onion in the refrigerator that was also in desperate need of being used up. So it's kind of a clean out the fridge kind of a meal. Now any onion would work. I'm just using a white onion. If you had a red onion, throw that in. It's totally fine. All right, and instead of slicing everything up by hand, I wanted to show you guys my favorite new tool ever. I hope you can see this. I have a lot of stuff on my counter right now. So this is the Rapid Prep mandolin, and I'm so in love with this thing. I have it set to a 3 and I guess I could set it to, it's got a flat setting, it's got a slicing setting, a dicing setting. It's got so many different settings on here, it's amazing. So anyway, all I'm gonna do is throw my already cleaned peppers and my onions in this thing, and it's gonna chop them up in less than a minute. So here goes my poblano and my red bell pepper, just putting them in the hopper. And I'm just gonna chop them up. Yeah, I could use my knife, but honestly, this is a lot faster. So there's most of our peppers. Let's do our onions. I'm gonna throw these 2 halves and this half, so it's about 1 1/2 small onions, small medium onions, or if you had a larger onion, again, whatever you have in your refrigerator, use it up. And I'm just gonna throw everything all in this same container because it's all gonna go in the quick cooker. And let's throw in this last little bit of red bell pepper to use up. And then I have one more poblano that I need to cut as well. I mean, how fast is that, right? So awesome. And I'm just gonna chop the top of that off and remove the seeds to my little garbage bowl area. Throw that in. And we're ready to saute. So in order to saute these vegetables up, we're just gonna drizzle in a little bit of olive oil into the bottom of our quick cooker, just a tablespoon or so. Not a lot. You can use canola oil, you can use butter. But I always have my olive oil out. And I'm just gonna let these cook for a minute or 2. Just until they get a little bit soft. There. Now this whole thing can go right in the dishwasher. So I will throw that in there later, as I like to have all the dishes done before we're eating dinner. All right, let's do the rest of this. While this is cooking, give it a little tiny stir. We need to get the rest of our ingredients prepped for the soup. So we're going to need 1 can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. If you don't have fire roasted diced tomatoes, really it's fine. You can use any kind of tomato. You can use a big can of tomatoes. You can use a small can of tomatoes. You can use tomatoes with chilies. But the fire roasted diced just adds a really nice, like smoky flavor to them. Adds a little something special, and I like the chunks. So, all right, so we have that ready. And then the recipe calls for 1 can of drained and rinsed black beans. I have found it's so much easier to actually cook up a bunch of black beans that are dried in the quick cooker on my days off and keep them in the fridge or in the freezer so that I always have them on hand. So I just did these in the quick cooker the other day, and I'm gonna use about a cup. And the rest of these are gonna go in the freezer for future use because school is starting in a week and I need to be able to have things that I can grab really quickly and make dinner when I get home and I'm tired. I'm sure many of you can relate. All right, let's give that another little stir. It's smelling so good. And I forgot to get out the garlic. We can't have tortilla soup without garlic. That would just be crazy. So the recipe calls for 2 or 3 cloves. And if you watched me cook before, you know I'm gonna put in like 5 because everything's better with garlic. All right, actually these are like giant cute cloves, so I'm gonna do about 4. Let's see, giant. So I'm gonna throw those in the quick cooker now that our onions and pepper mixture has cooked down a little bit. Everything's better with garlic. There we go. Clean that out so I have room to put my 4th clove in there. There we go. And now, extra garlic off my hands. Give this another little stir. Now this whole recipe start to finish is like less than 30 minutes and we are almost ready to get it started on the pressure cooking. So the recipe calls for 4 cups of chicken stock. This is homemade chicken stock, again, that I made in the quick cooker because I get chicken when it's on sale, like chicken thighs, chicken legs, when they're on sale. Throw them in there, cover with water, add some onion, garlic, maybe some herbs, maybe not, maybe a carrot. Let it cook on the stock setting. Then I take all the meat out, take out the liquid, and then I throw the bones back in with the vegetables that I had in there. And I fill it up with water and I do it again, and then I freeze everything. So tonight, instead of using fresh chicken breast, I'm actually using shredded chicken that I have in the freezer and my homemade chicken stock. And I just microwaved it for like 3 minutes so I can get it out easily. All right, this is looking nice and soft. So I'm gonna add in my black beans, my can of fire roasted diced tomatoes. And I'm gonna rinse that out and put the water from rinsing it right into the quick cooker because why waste the delicious tomato? Then I'm actually gonna use 2 tablespoons of Carnitas seasoning. If you don't have Carnitas seasoning, you can use chili powder, you can use a Southwest seasoning, you could just use a mixture of different chilies and more garlic and cumin, but I love the Carnitas seasoning for this. And of course, we'll give it a stir. Oh, it's smelling so good. This is gonna be delicious. Oh, and I almost forgot corn. Now, if we had fresh corn, I would totally take it off the cob and throw it in, but frozen corn works just fine. So that's about 2 cups, give or take. I'm not gonna measure that. All right, let's throw in, well actually, I want to show you what's going on in there. I have the quick cooker on a different counter today instead of where I normally have it, so you can't see what's happening. So this is what we have so far. Doesn't that just look so good? Like even just right here, you could throw that on top of nachos, you could throw that in a burrito, but we're making soup. All right, so that's all stirred up. Let's plop our chicken stock in there, just like that. And now we're gonna put the lid on, cancel the sear, pop the lid on, and then I'm just going to set this to soup and stock for 30 minutes. And we're gonna finish up our dinner. So the garnish and kind of the last little bit of vegetable on here is some beautiful ribbons of spiralized zucchini. And it makes this recipe really fun. I wanted to show you how to use the spiralizer because I don't think I've ever shown you how to do that before. So let's clear a little space. And the spiralized zucchini, it looks like these beautiful ribbons. And the spiralizer, you can use it to make like spiralized potatoes, and you can throw them in the air fryer, and so you can have curly fries. You could use it for the zucchini. It's really beautiful with apples. There's a lot of things you can do. So this is the spiralizer. I'm just going to put this ginormous zucchini that I cut in half into the bottom, and honestly, I think it's still too big. Maybe we'll cut it in fourths. This zucchini was massive. Thank you, Misfits Market, for my produce box. All right, so we have a little piece left in there from when I did the prep. All right, stick that in there, and then I'm just gonna turn it. That's it. So I am going to spiralize up the rest of this massive zucchini, and I'm gonna let this cook. And I might also do this avocado. I'm kind of thinking it might be ready, but it's a little hard. I don't know if I'm gonna do it or not, but I'm gonna let that cook, finish spiralizing the zucchini. When the quick cooker goes off in 30 minutes, I'm going to release the steam, and then I'm going to throw in my already pre-cooked chicken. Yeah, it's frozen. It'll cook in there in 5 minutes. And my zucchini, and I'm just gonna kind of let it all sit in there for about 5 minutes, and then I'm gonna garnish it all up with maybe the avocado, maybe some cilantro. I don't know, I gotta go check the garden if it stops raining. And then I'll take a picture and I'll show you guys what it looks like. And I'll also post the recipe below. So if you have any questions about anything that you've seen, please feel free to reach out. And thank you so much for watching. I so appreciate it. Have a great night, everybody. Bye.